And thank you guys for tuning into the Boldly Becoming podcast. I have got an awesome guest and client, Renee Richardson, here with me today. She is a powerhouse woman and just has, well, I wanted to initially say a beautiful story. It is beautiful, but it's also like a testament to how things just aren't always simple, right? It's the hard work that gets you to the good. And I love that you find transformation in every so many seasons.
That's true.
And I'm excited for people to hear more from you. But this is where I like to give it over to you, Renee. And if you want to do a little intro for yourself, things that you just want people to know about you, or maybe it's business life, it can be whatever you'd like.
Yeah, sure. So Renee Richardson. I grew up in the city of Richmond, so I'm a resident of the area, and just retired a couple of years ago from the Richmond Police Department with 30 plus years of service. Loved my job, but it was time for a change, and decided I was going to go into business. Did that for a little bit, stopped that, and just trying to find my footing as I went through life. There was, some major changes health-wise with my relationship, losing my husband, and being retired. I mean, 30 years at one place, and then you're going to step out into the world, and it's like, what am I going to do now? So it's, but I'm very big on family, friends, and trying to take care of myself.
And I think we all need reminders of that part, right? The taking care of ourselves, because you very much are someone who you do your best to take care of the people around you that you care about. And it's so evident. And I mean, I think it's been beautiful in your caregiving story for your mom, and how you've started a blog.
I did, yes.
Yeah. And just seeing that grow, and your heart for other people, and going like, hey, well, if somebody else is going through this, they need to hear this too, because I know I need to talk about it and hear it. So even if you want to share a little bit about that.
So my mother, she has MS. She was diagnosed back in 1989, and my dad passed away in 2019. So it's I'm the oldest out of two children, and I don't know what it is. I'm just the one that the parents kind of leaned on. And don't get me wrong, my sister's there.
Yeah.
But I think with me being the oldest, I'm the one who's kind of, the one that they turn to the most. And so with Dad passing away, Mom got to where she stopped driving. My cousin stepped in, and she helps us. She was helping us while Mom was still living at home. And then my mom kept falling.
Yeah.
So finally, I said to her, what kind of sign do you need from God that you need to come and move in with me? That, you need help.
Yeah.
And I was not expecting it, but that same day she goes, okay. And I was like, whoa, wow, that was quick. And so, yeah, she moved in with me end of August of 2025, and she's been with me ever since. And, I was prepared for it. At least I thought I was.
Yeah.
'Cause,
sure.
Taking care of Mom, I thought, well, I can do this because I took care of my husband. My husband was sick. He had a whole lot of ailments, and he passed away in 2021. He had congestive heart failure, had a tumor, had neuropathy, diabetes, you name it, he almost had it. And he came home on hospice, and he chose quality of life over quantity of life. And I keep that in the back of my head all the time, because quality is much better than quantity.
Yeah.
And even though quality meant him not staying around much longer, the quality of life that he lived, and even lived in the very end, was amazing.
Yeah.
And I have to remind myself a lot about that, because taking care of Mom is totally different.
Yeah.
It's it really, I don't want to say stresses me out, but it's a different type of love.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as caring for my husband, and I find myself sometimes I get depressed.
Yeah.
And I'm really just redefining again who I am.
Yeah.
And so it's another stepping stone.
Right. Well, and I think that's so important to share where your mental health has gone throughout that, because there's so many others like you that are caring for, whether that's spouses or parents, especially in I think they call it the sandwich generation.
It is.
Where they're caring for their parents and still feel like they're caring for their adult kids or whatever that looks like. People tend to feel lonely when they get into that depressive side or just down in the dumps, and they think it's themselves. They think it's so many other things, right, than probably what's right in front of them. But I think it's important for other people to hear they're not alone in that feeling.
They're not alone. But I can tell you, it wasn't until I was put into the situation of caring for my mom and having her with me 24/7
Yeah.
that I didn't realize how many other families and people that I knew were in the same situation, because we don't talk about it.
Yes.
And I don't understand why.
Yeah.
We don't share what's going on. And I have found comfort in the fact that I have a group of friends from back when I was in a teenager years, and they're across the country.
Yeah.
And we have a group chat, and we chat almost every day.
Oh.
And a couple months ago, one of my friends, he comes in there and just spills everything and talks about how he's taking care of his dad who has dementia, how his mom is in a nursing home because he can't take care of both, and she's worse than his dad.
Yeah.
And he starts and his guilt and how he feels about different things. And then I find out everybody in this group, this core group. Now I knew one because she's my best friend. I know she's helping with her father, with helping her mom with her father. But then I found out that the whole group is doing some form or has done some form of caregiving.
Yeah.
And I was blown away.
And
I didn't, at that point, I didn't feel alone.
Oh.
And I realized that I can vent. I found my group, they want to hear what I have to say.
Yeah.
They want to listen. They want, not necessarily, it's not always about advice either.
Right.
I just need to be heard.
Right. Well, and sometimes they know how to care for you in a way that others just don't, and they will never understand unless they've gone through it. I very much can relate to that in the side of grief. And it's crazy. So my partner, his dad, my father-in-law, he passed away in 2017. I always get it mixed up if it's 2017 or 18. But it was years before my dad ended up passing away. And his dad was a very important person in my life. He was just a different version of a dad, truthfully. Like, I wasn't missing anything with my dad. I love my dad. And he was beautiful things for me. And he taught me a lot of beautiful things. And what I exhibit today, I feel like my brother. But there was this relationship that, Kevin's dad and I had that I'm grateful for. So it was hard 4 years into our relationship losing him. But it wasn't the same of course, it's not the same for, my partner and his sister and his mom and everyone else that's in the family, right? Not to compare, but in the sense of they're grieving differently than I was. And so I could never do anything to make him feel better, my partner, in the sense of there's nothing I could fix in that moment. And we all grieve differently. And it wasn't until I lost my dad in 2020, and I was like, oh, I see where these people are trying to do kind things and trying to do what they think is the way to love on me and whatnot. But they just don't know because they haven't experienced it yet.
Exactly.
And the people that had lost a parent, it was a different love. And it was a different, I'm here, I get it, I'm just going to listen to you, or whatever you needed that day.
It is. When you're dealing with grief, is a very unique thing. And grief can come in so many different forms.
Yeah.
Because, I lost my dad before I lost my husband.
Yeah.
And when I lost Danny, I remember trying to explain to my mom, yeah, losing my dad hurt, but losing Danny hurt more.
Yeah.
And the pain and the anguish and the loneliness was so much more intense.
Mm-hmm.
And the grief was just totally different.
It's a different love.
It is.
Yeah.
And that's what my mom said. My mom, very religious woman, she goes, well, it says in the Bible that you leave your parents and you become one with your spouse.
Mm.
She goes, so it's going to be different.
Oh.
And I thought, okay, she has a point.
Right.
This makes sense. Okay, I get it. And then, and then I try to remember going through the grief. It's kind of hard. It's like I never had a panic attack before until losing Danny.
Yeah.
And I had to learn to talk myself down.
Mm.
Just getting back into life and realizing that I knew my friends meant well.
Yeah.
My family meant well.
Yeah.
But you can't rush grief. And I also learned a lot too, that in our society, we have a tendency to rush things.
Mm.
And we rush grief.
Mm-hmm.
And in my culture, I'm Native American. We grieve for a year.
I think it's so beautiful.
Yeah, we grieve for a year. And then we come back a year later and we celebrate his life.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. And we have rituals that, like my son, he has long hair. I will not forget the day. It was like maybe a week after we had cremated Danny. My son comes in to the house, walks out into the back patio. He cut off all his hair.
Oh.
Well, that's part of the process.
Right.
And so now he was just here like a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
And long hair.
Yeah.
It's all grown back.
Right.
But it's, little things that you do. And I understand why you do them. For a year, I couldn't dance.
Right.
I couldn't sit at the drum, at the Native American drum that I'm a part of. There's things that I couldn't do. And it was for me to focus on my grief and to learn how to work through it.
Yeah.
And versus rushing through it and putting it behind me. So it's almost like so you can sit better with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can actually experience it versus
yes.
what we're conditioned, I think, in our society is to do. So I love that you're part of a tradition and a culture that aids you in that. That's the community that they give to you. They're saying, hey, we got you. We're still going to continue to do the things that are going to represent us. You do what you need to do to take care of you while we do that.
Yes.
And that's another form of love, right?
Yes, it is.
Oh.
It very much is. And so that was good. I needed that. But, it's just, I had to learn that, well, and sometimes I think but it needs to be reset to you, or you need to look at it from a different point of view.
Sure.
And it's slowing down and accepting the feelings that you're having instead of trying to push them away.
Oh.
And understanding why you're having that feeling.
Right.
And I read something that basically said that the pain that you feel when you lose someone really is the fact that love you have for that person has nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And so that hit home for me. And I realized that. And
that just gives you permission to feel differently about it.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of heals you in a way, because then you reframe that grief from so sad, or I'm in my sadness, or this is something I want to get out of one day, to just a reminder of how much I love them.
Yes.
I've heard that sentiment before, and every time that comes back around on my feed,
mm-hmm.
it fills me with like the happy tears, of course, sad tears too, but you automatically think of very important people and then your relationship with them, which is, I think is so cool about a photo, because it does the same thing. And that's what I talk to when I'm talking on consultations with folks. And I'm sure you've heard us talking with you about it, where, is something about a picture that can bring you back to sensory things like sound, smells, whatever,
So this was my third session.
Okay.
The picture here.
Yes.
Session. And every time that I've come in, there's been something behind each one as to why I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
My very first time was I lost my husband. I went from a 350-pound person down to what I am now.
Yeah.
So I lost a person.
Yeah.
Not only did I lose a person, I personally
Physically.
lost a person.
Yeah.
And I couldn't see myself. And I didn't know how to see myself, because even when I looked in the mirror, I saw who was looking back at me, and I knew it was me, but it wasn't how I saw myself.
Yeah.
Or what I thought myself looked like.
Right.
And I know that probably sounds weird.
No.
But I I would stand there and, there's underlying things that come into play when you're, especially with the weight loss portion of it.
Of course.
But I had lost a whole lot. And I was trying to reestablish who I was because I was growing.
Yeah.
And I was growing in a different direction. I wasn't losing what I, had with me.
Sure.
I was bringing it with me, but I had to figure out who I was in that moment. And I think I found it on Facebook. I think it was the 40 over 40 or something like that. And
yeah.
I was like, well, I'm over 40. I think I'm going to do this.
I fit in that category. Right.
I know, right?
Right.
I'm over 40. Let me do this. I'm going to do this. And that's when I came in, and I will never forget when I saw my pictures. Every time I have pictures done, the group, you guys capture who I am. You capture who I see. And because I don't see that person necessarily in a selfie,
right,
or just a picture that someone might take, if you're with family or friends or whatever. I don't always see that person.
Yeah.
And it's like you capture who I am, the essence of who I am.
Yeah.
And it stands out. And that was just a very defining moment where I was able to step back and go, all right, now I see.
That's so beautiful. Like, first, it makes me well up every time, because that's truly all we want for you guys. And we're blessed enough to hear each of your stories and to understand what you're going through and what you've been through or what you're working to go through. And so for someone, especially you, coming back 3 separate times, and you personally told me, you're like, it's almost like I feel called to you guys, or you reach out every time I'm in a new transition season.
It is.
And it's just so, like, how beautiful is that? And it also hopefully, attests to how much we care about you guys after you leave here. Because we do mean what we say. Of course, we can't be like with talking to you all the time, but, we do like to check in. We do like to stay in touch. We want to make sure that, you're living the life that you declared while you were in here. And I was going to say, what do you feel like from the 3 separate sessions? And you may have already said this, that, do you feel like you had a different kind of theme for each of those sessions?
Yes, I did. So my first session, was, I didn't know what to expect. And so I knew you all did, the boudoir, but that's a little out of my league. But I came in and I think I did 1 or 2 poses that were kind of mild. They're just mild. I'll call it mild. And I was like, don't put these out there.
Right.
I'm going to take these, but don't put them out there.
Right.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But the main thing was I had just started 2 businesses. And so some of the shots I was able to use, like on Facebook or wherever, business pages or whatever, websites and stuff like that. So that worked out really good. And there was my shot that I chose for the 40 over 40 was something that was just not your typical natural, normal shot. I almost felt like I was back in the what is that era where you have the crown and
I almost think of like Cleopatra when I think of that.
That's it. Yes, that's kind of how I felt.
Kind of like Egyptian,
right?
Kind of,
because that I wore a wig.
Yeah,
I had a black
wig.
You did?
On.
Yeah, I wore a wig, and not a lot of people know this, but I wear wigs.
Oh, yeah,
I wear wigs, all kinds of wigs.
You rock them too.
Thank you.
You're wearing a wig in this picture right here.
Wig in that one too.
Yeah.
But that was the first time that I had ever had my picture taken in a wig, and that to me, all of the pictures, just that was the very first one that captured. I could see myself. I could truly see myself. My second session, I came in with all my regalia.
Oh, I love those photos too.
And so so I'm wearing buckskin. I'm wearing a woman's traditional. I have, all my furs.
Looks so, and the colors are beautiful too.
So yeah, so that was different. And the thought for that one was to be more of an educational view.
Right.
But they were they were very warm and inviting, and it captured the essence of, to me, what being a Native American is for me.
Yeah.
And that was amazing. And then my last session, I came in and I thought, you know what, I'm bringing 2 different wigs.
Yeah.
And I'm actually going to use some of the wardrobe that is here in the studio, because I had never done that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to kind of step out and just do something a little bit different. And the picture that I got in print was with the wig and with something from your wardrobe.
Yeah. And I feel like that's the fun. It's like the playing dress up part that you were also, that was what felt like the transition was for this session, though, was you stepping into kind of an unknown that you were just allowing. Right.
Yes.
And after many conversations that we've had, between here and our sound baths and stuff that we've had at the studio, it was just beautiful to see. It also reminded me to allow. So thank you for being an inspiration, because there's so many things that we try to control. That's been the through line, I think, through this episode, right? And so sometimes you need the exterior.
Sometimes you got to let go.
Yeah.
It's hard to let go.
Especially as women.
Yes, it is. It is, because we do. I think that's just our human nature to nurture.
Yeah.
Is to try to control things and make things good for other people. And sometimes our control overextends to the point where we lose the control of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to take a step back and reel ourselves in and get to ourselves versus trying to control everybody else.
And the reminder that you're giving us now is do it every so often.
Yes.
Don't wait until you're breaking down, maybe every few years, maybe every 5 to 10, but check in with yourself, because you're your biggest piece of real estate that you need to keep going, right?
That's right.
In order to do all the other things that we want to do to help others. Oh, thank you, Renee.
You're welcome.
Well, I'm going to say this has been such a beautiful conversation, as I knew it was going to be. I always like to end the podcast with one last question, because we get to hear so much wisdom shared from you guys while we're here in the studio planning all the good things. If there was one piece of wisdom you could leave our listeners with today, what would that be?
The one thing that I have learned, and that I have to refocus myself on, especially here lately, is to think back on when you feel like you're losing control, you're losing yourself, to think back on the little things that bring you joy. Because if you can focus on them, then that helps move you through whatever it is that you're dealing with. So for me, I have to stop and think, you know what? I really enjoy a good cup of coffee in the morning. And I give myself permission to sit with that cup of coffee and to cuddle with my puppies and to just take it in. It's okay.
Yeah.
You got to take in the small things, because if you can take in the small things, the big things, they'll come.
You were taking the words right out of my mouth. I was like going to sum it up, and you did it. I didn't have to do anything. I love it, because that's the truth. I think we make like what we call self-care. It's been this kind of buzz thing, but we need. I think we try to make it big, and it can be small until you figure out how to make it bigger in your life. So thank you again for your incredible conversation. I know you're going to resonate with so many women. And thank you again, listeners, for tuning in to the Boldly Becoming podcast. We'll see you next time.